Okay, lady,
Okay.
it is time. Are you ready to
do
do
this
this?
thing.
Okay. Take the big, deep breath.
I'm gonna center myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna root my sit bones and do new products.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
New.
What is this?
This is an updated product. This is our very beloved Pi TFT 2.8-inch TFT display for Raspberry Pi. This is a great display. We use it on all sorts of projects. We've seen it all over the world. It's one of our most popular Pi accessories, and we have updated it. It now comes fully assembled. It is now plug and play. You do have to still install the Linux kernel, which we're working on making it a little bit easier to do that. We have a couple images you can download, but there's no soldering involved anymore. It comes pre-soldered, and there's Kapton tape on it, and it's lovely, and it's beautiful, and you just plug into your Pi, and you are ready to do things.
No. I have a couple other photos that I put in
Yeah.
here. So this
Yeah,
is
it
in
shows-
action, yeah.
You can do videos.
Yeah.
Just do a console. Here's what it looks like. This is the assembled version. Looks like that. We're also working on getting the capacitive one assembled, and also we will be working on more screens in the future.
Yeah. Okay, next up, this is another Raspberry Pi product. This is the Bitscope.
Yeah, we got the Bitscope in. This is an interesting, sort of like a STEM tool. This is an oscilloscope logic analyzer tool for Raspberry Pi. Actually, it's for any computer, but they've added code for Raspberry Pi, so you can do circuit analysis on your Raspberry Pi. It has a little microcontroller, and the microcontroller does actually the analog reading and such. And then the most important thing is, of course, they go with software, and there's a scripting language. So, hey, can you go to the previous photo? That
Yeah.
shows the,
I also have this one.
yeah, because this is the photo that shows it's USB powered, and it comes with a whole bunch of probes, and you can basically probe your project and then watch voltages. So if you don't want an oscilloscope, or you want a portable oscilloscope, or just something that's small and easy to use, I mean, we'll probably show how to use this with the Pi TFT to make a portable
Yeah.
Bitscope. That'd be cool.
And then here's a screenshot of some of the output that you can get
This is
from
the
it.
software. So yeah, this looks like a spectrum analysis tool. Like there's a signal, and then there's a spectrum below it, or above it. Sorry.
All right, next up. This is a lot of fun. Look at this.
Oh, this is the pan tilt.
Yeah.
So this is a teeny pan tilt. There's other pan tilts that are larger. This one is cute and small. We like that it's cute and small because we will probably do projects with something like the Pi camera or other small cameras, like the ones we have in the store. Most webcams are not that big anymore. This can definitely handle like any webcam that we've seen. It's not that unstrong. It's not that weak. I will power it up just to show. Actually, I will. Can I show them the overhead? Because I want to show the panning and the tilting.
Let's do this.
So, sorry, I'm going to move that over there. I will power this to show it moving. So, just 1 second for this to reset. Okay. So there's two servos. This one goes up and down. It's the tilting, and then this one is the panner, and so you can see the body moves, and then the base has a couple holes you can attach. You can probably even just foam tape it. And there's these little clips. You can cut these off. It's for gripping onto like little mini cameras and such. It might fit a GoPro or something like that. I'm going to unplug this now. Well, hold on.
You're using a Pro Trinket to run this thing.
I might be.
Okay.
And I'll show you that. Yeah, this has like a, pretty wide range of motion. It's like 50 degrees. And then this has approximately 180. It's like 170 or 160. And this one's fully assembled. So it comes to you like this, ready to go. And there's the two servo plugs. You just need to connect this to any servo driver, microcontroller, Arduino. Even the Raspberry Pi can do a little bit of servo control. And Bob's your uncle. I like that saying, Bob's your uncle. Okay, so let's say you're like, I already have some servos. I don't want the pre-assembled servo kit. Or maybe I want to use Metal Gear servos instead of these lower cost plastic gear servos. Not a problem. For advanced users, we have the pan tilt kit. And it's all the parts that you may recognize in the screws, and you get the joy of assembling it. It's a little less expensive too because it's not assembled. But if you're totally cool with that, go to town, especially if you have servos already, or you want to recycle servos. Just takes like half an hour of like screwing things together, and you're golden.
Okay, we'll continue moving along.
Yeah, and then there's a nice photo of the pan tilt kit there.
Yeah, I got this here.
Yeah, so those are the parts you get. Joy.
Okay.
Use any microserver. Looks
So
great.
there's a billion of these. We're now in
Matrix land.
Matrix land.
Okay, so let's. This is. Can you just hold
Yeah.
on here? This is a 8x16 or 16x8, depending on how you want to look at it. LED matrix. This is in the family of LED matrices we have. It's I2C, so you use this 2 pins to control all of these LEDs, and the chip can actually handle this many LEDs. It multiplexes them nicely, and we have code for Arduino and Raspberry Pi. There's example code for like every microcontroller, because this is a very popular product. People have done lots of projects with it. It comes as a backpack, and then you solder in 2 matrices. You can go next.
Okay. So
Comes like this.
This is the only. So this because this is the same on a lot of these. I just have one
you don't
photo.
have to.
I
Yeah,
think
we'll
that's
just look
okay.
at this one. So you get 2 matrices, and then the backpack, and then we have one backpack, and then we have a whole range of different matrices, and you plug in whichever one you like, and then you can plug into your breadboard like this and control it with your Trinket or your Pro Trinket or your Arduino or your Flora or what have you.
You got choices.
All good. And then we have a little demo.
Yeah. So
GIF.
what we have is because animated GIFs everyone likes.
Everyone likes to make GIFs.
And so we also have a photo of each one. We have like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of
So
these.
that was pure green. This is light green, so it's like a yellowish green. We also have all these are rounded dots.
Yeah.
And then we also have red, classic red rounded dots.
Okay.
We also have white. And next up,
Yeah.
white with rounded dots. Really bright. We'll show how bright it is. We have to dim the camera quite a bit. You can see from the reflection, it's incredibly bright. We also have blue with rounded dots.
And you were driving these with just regular Trinket too.
Yeah, this was a Trinket. Because
Trinket or Pro Trinket will do it.
Either one is fine. And this is blue rounded dots. And then we also have, after this, square, blue. So if you people like square pixels, I like square
I really
pixels.
like the square ones.
You
yeah,
like square? Okay, we'll
the
show a
ones
demo
are
of
really
square
nice.
one. Okay, and then after that, we've got red square. Or no, sorry, this is amber square. We also have, which is like a kind of a reddish orangish.
Yeah.
We also have green, pure green square, a really powerful green color, really bright.
Yeah.
We have a orange square. And we have a white square.
Yeah, this is.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Bam.
and then I have the one last animated graphic.
Okay.
Whew.
So yeah, lots of square. And I can also demo this on the overhead
All right.
as well using my Pro Trinket, so I can show you.
Okay.
And it acts like as far as so I actually just have it with some, I can switch out the matrices. So yeah, this is blue rounded and white square, or I can switch this out to make this.
Can you have 2 different colors?
Yeah, you can, but we kind of only sell it right now as a kit where you get, I'm just demoing it with 2 colors because it's not going to be the same brightness.
If someone got 2 kits, they could just swap them out.
Yeah, if you have 2 kits, you can swap them out, but because it's not going to be the same brightness, and they also, they don't look exactly the same, we only have them as kits. That's the orange or amber. This one is, I think, blue square pixel. This is orange square pixel. So there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And then I have
These
even more.
these even look good over a webcam. I'm impressed.
here's the,
the square ones are really nice.
Yeah, I know. I like square. I like square. But round is it's classic. This is green rounded. Let's see, what's this one? This one is blue square. We already did that one. White square. We already did that one. Anyway, you get the picture, right? This is yellow. I'll do the yellow square.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than amber. I mean, you can look at the photos. We did as best we could to show clearly. But yeah, basically it's Matrix Party. And yeah, it's a lot of pixels. You can scroll text. You can draw, shapes like draw a circle, draw a square, draw lines. The GFX library supports it. And pick whatever color you like.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. We got more.
Okay, we're not done.
But wait, there's more. Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Put this away.
So next up, this is. Need a touchscreen.
This is a new touchscreen.
Yeah.
We now have a larger touchscreen. This is the 3.5-inch TFT touchscreen. This is twice as many pixels as the 2.8, which we have. This is just a breakout. So this is for, if you want to mount it somewhere, you want to use Arduino or another microcontroller. We have code that's very easily ported to any microcontroller you like. We have a data sheet for the chipset as well. It's a full memory controller, so it has the frame memory stored in the display. So you don't have to clock the display constantly. You can use SPI and you say turn on pixel number 8x4 green, and it just does it. So that's kind of nice. You can use it with low RAM microcontrollers like the Arduino. You don't have to buffer and sync the display, which is quite nice. But that means it's a little bit slower. It also comes with 2 interfaces. We give you a choice. You can have SPI, which is slower if you're using Arduino because it's not very fast SPI, but uses only 4 or 5 pins. Or you can use 8-bit, which requires 12 pins, or 13 pins, I can't remember, but it's much, much faster because you're writing 8 bits at a time. So yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off. If you have the pins, go with 8-bit, of course, it's much, much faster. If you don't care about speed as much, you can go with SPI. Again, the speed thing only matters if you're drawing a lot of text very, very fast. If you're doing something like this interactive drawing demo, it doesn't actually matter because you're not you're not filling the entire screen very, very fast. And I'll show that off as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we can show some photos.
Yeah, I got some photos.
Because there's some header. It's nice and chunky. Here's the back. It's got level shifting on it, so it's.
I like that some of our photos have photos of our photos.
I needed the color. It's 5-volt compatible,
Yeah.
so you can use it with 3 or 5 volts. The backlight has a boost converter on it, but you can dim it with PWM. There's a 6 LED backlight. You can see
Text
how
looks great. Yeah.
the text looks like super sharp, and you can see how much you can fit on there. 16-bit color.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Right now we have Arduino code, works with any Arduino, and then we will show how to use this with a Raspberry Pi or BeagleBone.
This is pretty
at some
amazing.
point.
This is really advanced, beautiful screens now getting in the hands of makers. This is.
Yeah, this is a screen that's used in low cost. What's interesting is that there's these screens, and I know that they're out there, but I can't get them. So these screens are used in low cost, like smartphones, not like the iPhone. The iPhone uses a MIPI display, but if you're getting like a low cost, like lower cost Android device, or maybe if you're in another country and it's a $50 phone or a $60 phone, it might be a screen like this. And because these screens are now on the market, I can order them at less than 100,000 quantity because if I order screens, basically they say you have to buy 1,000, and they use a standard display size and layout. But if I need a custom screen, you have to order 100,000 at least, and it's extremely expensive. This one has resistive touch. We're working on getting capacitive touch. I have a sample, but I'm still fighting the data sheet to get the capacitive touch to work. But hopefully we'll have the capacitive multi-touch. No ETA. When it's ready, I'll be happy and I'll release it.
All right.
So
and
let me
now
do the
here's
demo.
yeah. Do you want me to go to the other?
Yeah, let's go to the other end.
Okay. More live demos.
So here is the Arduino, and I have a bunch of wiring, and I have the resistive touch just wired up, and you can just draw with your fingernail. And this paint demo allows you to just select whatever color you like. And go to town. So you can see it is responsive. I mean, even though it's a big display and it's SPI, if you're not trying to fill the entire display, which takes a second or two, it's perfectly fine. This is for little UI elements, put up a button and you press it, or graph something.
Yeah, not full screen video.
This will not do full screen video on an Arduino. You can do video with it on a Raspberry Pi. I'm still working on how fast you can run it. But with SPI, it is tough. It's a lot of bits. So, yeah.
All right. And now tonight, the star of the show besides you, it is Pro Trinket. Pro Trinket's here. A year in the making.
Well, not a year, but I mean, it's been a year since Trinket. So
yeah. Okay.
I guess you could say that.
So, Lady Ada, what is the Pro Trinket?
Pro Trinket is the Trinket's little sister, big sister. Sorry, we released a Trinket about a year ago, and it's a little AT-Tiny based breakout board that we wanted for projects that didn't need an Arduino, like something small, like blink some NeoPixels, or you saw the demo, it displays text on a matrix. You don't need a full Arduino, and if you only have 1 or 2 Arduinos, it's ideal if you can save that for your bigger projects or prototyping, because it's very prototyper friendly. But people kind of said the Trinket is great, but I want more memory, and I want more flash, and I want more RAM, and I want more pins. And I'm well, the chip we used only has 8 pins. They can't. I'm I don't know how much we can squeeze out of there. But I went back to the drawing board and thought, okay, well, what if we took the idea of the Pro Trinket, which is this small, USB programmable, mounting holes, easy to use, Arduino compatible, but use a bigger chip. And so then I went to my distributors and I hammered them on pricing for Atmega 328 chips, and they were oh, okay, we'll give you a better price. And I got the price down to the point where I can actually basically make something that has all the core elements of an Arduino, but little teeny size. And I'll even hold one.
And
Hold on.
What we managed to do, not only because our purchasing power, we can buy a lot of stuff, but our manufacturing capability and yield is really high. We got the trinket, the Pro Trinket down to $9.95, and then you lowered the price of the trinket too.
Yeah, to $7.
Yeah.
So it's $1 less because the yield of actually in the last year we've improved our manufacturing so much that actually the trinket is much easier for us to manufacture now. So it's like, oh, okay, like, well, let's reduce the price on that and then offer a Pro Trinket. So the Pro Trinket is the same chip used in an Arduino Uno or Duemilinova Classic. And it has basically the same number of pins. There's 2 pins that are missing for USB, number 2 and number 7. But it has all the other pins. And so the 5-volt version, especially because it runs at the same clock rate, will run like pretty much any Arduino program as long as you don't need pins 2 and 7. You can program it 2 ways. You can use FTDI header. So a lot of Arduino compatibles, they don't have the USB to serial chip on the board. They have them in the cable, like you see here. I have an FTDI cable here somewhere. And it's a chunky cable, and it's also like $10. So it's a trade-off because you take the cost of that chip and you move it into this cable. So you can use that, and when you use that, it just works just like an Arduino Uno, and like you program it through Arduino, or you can program it through USB. And the USB is a micro USB. We got really good at micro USB layout, so that we do the man pry test where I give the the micro USB on the Pro Trinket to you, and you try to pull it off the board using the USB cable. Yeah. And actually, you broke the board. You tore the board in half. Yeah. Before you managed to pull the part out because it's got this through-hole pins. So it's got a micro USB, which is really popular. And you plug it into your computer, and you just have to install the driver on Windows. On Mac and Linux, you don't. But Windows, we have a signed driver you can use, works with Windows 8 and all that good stuff. And then you can upload code to it over USB. Now, it's not a USB to serial converter. It's just the bootloader runs on USB, which is convenient still because for a lot of projects, maybe you've already debugged it, you know it works, and so you just upload it to the Pro Trinket, and you don't need the USB to serial converter part of it anymore. Or if you want, you can connect the FTDI cable, and then you have the USB serial. So you have like a choice of 2 different ways to upload code. It's got 18 GPIO. It's got all the pins that you know and love from the Arduino Uno and compatibles. It's got 2 extra analog pins, A6 and A7. I just shoved them on there because we had a little bit of space. Got a power LED, got a red number 13 LED for debugging, has a reset switch, so you can reset it to get the bootloader mode going. I don't know, I've been using it for a little bit, and it's worked really, really well. And yay, it's done. So I think this will be fun for people who want to make projects small, but they don't want to like take an Arduino and like try to cut off the headers and shove it in there. It's just really, really small. We have even a photo comparing it.
I don't have the comparison photo here, but I did post it in the chat.
It's on the website. We have a photo comparing a trinket and a Pro Trinket, and like they're really.
I can actually grab it real quick too.
They're really close in size. The Pro Trinket is 0.7 inch by 1.5 inch, and the trinket is 0.6 by 1, I think. So it's really close. We also have a comparison. Yeah, that one.
So this one?
Yeah, that's
this
fine.
one has all of them, so I may as well grab this one.
Grab that photo. Yeah. Are you doing a live video editing here?
Yeah, it's dangerous, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Danger.
Yeah,
warning.
So here you go.
Okay, so the trinket's on the right, and the Pro Trinket is in the middle there. So you see, it's a little bit bigger, but it's not crazy bigger. And then there's an Uno for comparison. So I think that this is like a good family. Like, get a genuine Arduino Uno, prototype your project, get it working, and then if you need to put it in a small space, like you're doing a wearable project or you're doing a project with 3D printed, like enclosure, you don't want to make it too big, you can just use a Pro Trinket instead.
Okay, so someone want to know, can you use the Pro Trinket with FONA and LCDs?
You can. Again, I would suggest prototyping it on an Arduino Uno, and then just don't use pin 2 and 7. Those 2 pins we reserve for the USB interface. If it works on your Arduino Uno, then basically just get it all working perfectly, and then you can move it onto the Pro Trinket. You can do development with the Pro Trinket, but you don't have that USB serial debugging. So that's why I suggest always starting with the Uno. And then we also have the 3-volt version. Yeah. So there's 2 versions. There's a 5-volt and 3-volt. The 5-volt is what I suggest for most people because it's 5 volt, 16 megahertz. It's like what you know and love. The 3 volt is for a little bit. It's a little bit more advanced because it's a lower voltage, and it's a lower clock speed. You can't drive the Uno at 3 volts at 60 megahertz. You have to lower the clock speed, so we did, which is fine. And that one's great for if you want something lower power and you don't care that the speed's a little slower. Most things still work on it, and it's more compatible with 3 volt sensors. So there's a choice. Most people tend to like the 5 volt version, though. Ready to go.
All right, and so the last thing is that we shot that little video. Do you want to explain what this video is?
Oh yeah, sure. I can show the bootloader. The bootloader has this nice pulse LED.
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now.
Okay, plug in USB, and you'll see the bootloader LED is pulsing. That means it's USB numerated and waiting for you to send it instructions. This will time out after about 10 seconds, so it gives you plenty of time to run your Arduino code, upload it, compile it. Once it's done, it'll run the program. So right now it's just running a little test program for me, and the LED will go out. To restart the bootloader, press the little bootloader reset button right there, and it will restart the USB enumeration and bootloading process.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's it. That's the Pro Trinket, the story behind it.
Yay.
We were able to keep prices super low, $9.95 on this one, and then $7 for Trinket.
Yeah, I think $10 is great. I mean, like
yeah.
for $10, like it's basically you get everything you want for your Arduino project, plus USB, which you can use for power or for uploading code. I will eventually be able to show how to use this as a mouse keyboard. You can do that with this. I just don't have a tutorial. There's tutorials online on how to do that with an Uno. This works out of the box with that stuff as well.
Yeah, and one of the things we wanted to do with the Trinket is make it even more approachable. So we have 20 great projects. Mike, who's in the chat, we have the Getting Started with Trinket book coming out.
Yeah.
And for like $7, it's almost the perfect price where the microcontroller, it doesn't matter what happens to your project. You're not like, oh my God, it's a $30 dev board.
Yeah.
I can't put this in a million different things. Someone emailed us and they had said, oh, I have Trinkets running my entire house. They're all over the place doing different things. I thought it was cool.
I think there's a place for both. I think I still use Trinkets all the time. They're great when you just need something really small, really fast, and really easy.
Yeah.
Per Trinket is for, the thing is, I actually had some projects that I wanted to make small wearables, and the Trinket was not powerful enough.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I can't do these projects, these little 3D printed projects that can drive like OLEDs or more complicated audio stuff.
And then if you need shields, and that's the Arduino next, and then if you need like embedded Linux, you got Raspberry Pi and BeagleBone.
There's a wide range.
Yeah, you can actually start low cost, super easy, and work your way up to kernel mods. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right.
Why am I installing glibc over again?
Yeah, okay. And that, Lady Ada, was New Products.
Okay.
Okay.